What's up YouTube? Scott's Scotty Tradition back with another video. Gonna continue my, delve into my vintage Packers collection. A few videos back, this was before the National, I put out a video that kind of went through the 1930s all the way up to 1950 and 51 Bowman for my vintage Packers rookie cards, and I kind of went through them. The vintage football is truly what I love, and you really do have to take the time to appreciate your collection every now and again, and stop worrying about like what your next card is going to be, what's the next pickup, what's coming in, and just kind of really just kick back and appreciate what you have in your collection. And I try to do that. I really don't need any cards, or any new cards for that matter. It's nice to have them, but I don't really need them at all. It is really really eye-opening, at times, to kind of go through your own collection, see what you have, kind of organize things differently, and see if you might want to adjust here and there. But my bread and butter is definitely vintage football, and a lot of the vintage football videos that I did for my vintage Packer stuff was early, quite a few years ago on YouTube. And since most people do not go back and watch all the earlier videos, I thought it'd be good to kind of pour through this stuff again as I've kind of built up a few more subscribers. So if you remember the last video I did, I ended on 1951 Bowman, which was a Tony Canadeo card, and I thought I would kind of continue along with that trend. So if there is one thing that's synonymous with early to mid 50s football cards, it is Bowman. Bowman. Bowman was huge for football in the early to mid 50s, so we'll kind of continue along with that trend. And here's a card I picked up earlier this year. This is the 51 Bowman Tennell rookie card, graded by SGC. I was super happy to get this earlier this year, and just a beautiful example. This particular card, according to SGC, is pop 12 with 5 higher. So just a really nice example of a 7. And Tennell's got a great history, especially just kind of breaking through. He wasn't I don't think he was the person necessarily to break through the color barrier in football, but Tennell was one of the first pioneers in that regard in football. So just something you don't really hear about. You hear about it a lot more so in baseball, but football had the same types of things going on in the early years as well. So played with the Giants for many years, and of course Lombardi brought him over. He was like the one person he brought over in 58, I believe it was, when he went to the Packers. Tennell is the guy. He's the vet that he wanted to teach the young Packers how to play. So even though not in a Packers uniform, this is a key rookie card as far as vintage football goes, and as far as the history of football goes. So great. It's great to have that card, and a good continuation on from the last video. And then now 52 Bowman. Let's get into some great Packer cards. A lot of these are pretty low pop, and they are I wouldn't say cornerstones in my collection, but they're like really solid building pieces of my Packers rookie collection. So let's start out with 52 Bowman. So the thing to know about 52 Bowman is there was 2 sets, 52 Bowman large and 52 Bowman small. Typically, the Bowman large cards are a little more sought after than the small cards, just because there's a larger, more grandiose kind of image, and people tend to like that a little bit more. Now there was a lot of competition in the early to mid 50s with Topps, and so a lot of new concepts were being thrown around by Bowman just to try to compete. And if you know anything about Topps baseball, Topps baseball in 52, that was their inaugural Topps set. They had these big huge cards, right? And now before that, you can look at Bowman. This is not a normal sized card. This is a little smaller than a normal sized card as you would think of a card today. This is a little bit smaller. So Bowman kind of wanted to get bigger in their cards. So one of the ways they tried to experiment was to increase the size. So Here are two of them right here. So here's Bill Houghton. He was a wide receiver for the Packers, and a damn good wide receiver too. In 1952, which is this year, and 1956, he actually led the NFL in receiving yards, and in 1956 led the NFL in touchdowns. So I think he ended his career with like over 8,000 yards receiving and over 60 touchdowns. So he had a great career. But you can kind of see the difference in the size from the large to small, as Bowman wanted to try to get into those larger cards. And these are both pretty low pop. The large version here is pop 17 with only 2 graded higher. So not a ton of these floating around necessarily. And you know, these type of cards are so hard to track when you're trying to track your collection and trying to, you know, monitor sales, and just so you have at least some idea of what you have. Obviously, you know, money is not everything. If it was, I wouldn't be collecting, you know, necessarily vintage football. I guess there are more lucrative things to get into, but I love it. I love vintage football, and I will continue to kind of collect what I love. And I found that, you know, you really can't go wrong if you do collect what you love. So that being said, you know, vintage football, these cards, they're just so beautiful. Man, just look at the image itself as Bill Houghton catches a football. The 52 Bowman cards featured players in their college uniforms as well, so pretty cool. Take a look at the back. Just a beautiful card. So yeah, you can see the difference between the large and small. I love them both, and in some instances it's actually harder to find the smalls. So anyways, this 52 Bowman is pop 17 with 2 higher. The small version is only pop 12 with 0 higher. So there's actually less of these floating around. So, and Bill Houghton is a borderline Hall of Famer. I still think he could make the Hall of Fame at some point. So you got a couple of great cards back there. Of course, M. Len Tennell is an NFL Hall of Famer in his own right, and a member of the NFL 50's All-Decade team. Let's go to another great 52 Bowman card, and this guy just got in the Hall of Fame this year, and that's Bobby Dillon. Of course, he had one glass eye, and I did a story on him in an earlier video, so go back and look up my Bobby Dillon video. But he's still the Packers' all-time interception leader, was a 4-time All-Pro as well. And you can see I have both the large and small version as well. This is his rookie card, NFL Hall of Famer Bobby Dillon. You can see him in his Texas uniform here. It took me forever to find this card here, the 52 Bowman Small, and it is in a 7. It's pop 14, 10 higher, so according to the pop report at least, there's 10 higher, but I haven't seen an 8 since I've been looking, and I've been looking since like 2014, so they do not come up for whatever reason. So I bought this 7 when I could. It's a nicely centered 7, actually. It looks pretty darn nice, and I am happy with that until I can find one that's an 8, but like I said, they just don't seem to exist. And of course, here's a beautiful example, Bowman large version. This is a great looking card. Pop 24 on this one, only 2 graded higher. So love that blue sky in the background, and that Texas logo is actually pretty great as well. So yeah, these are great cards. And I have one more 52 Bowman as well, and that is Fred Cohn. He was a star at Clemson. This one is in his Packers uniform, actually. He was a kicker and running back for the Packers back in the day. And you can see the large version I have here is graded an 8.5, which is pop 3. Yeah, only 3 higher. Just a beautiful card there. Again, love the backgrounds on these. They're just beautiful cards. And then the small version I actually have in a 9, and that's a tough card. It's pop 3, none graded higher. So get a good look at that one. That's just sharp all the way around. Nice card. Just vintage football goodness. Then we jump into 54 Bowman, and there are three big Packers. They're not NFL Hall of Famers, but they are in the Packers Team Hall of Fame. The first one I'll show is this guy, Al Carmichael. Just a great looking card. This one is in a 9 as well. You can see the 54 Bowman design there. A little more simplistic in their design. You can start to see the overall card getting to be more normal sized as well. You can see those sweet blue uniforms with the yellow letters. Now Al Carmichael, this card is Pop 8 with none graded higher. Just a beautiful example. Take a look at the back of the 54 Bowmans. Just a beautiful card. And then we have the Dave Hanner. This is a tough short print. The pop on this one is 40 with 10 graded higher. I've always wanted to try to find a 9. There's been one on eBay for a little while now, and it's grossly overpriced. So I haven't even made an attempt on it, but this is a really nicely centered 8. They're tough to even find in an 8, though. They just don't seem to come up very much for sale. This is Dave Hanner. Also, his nickname was Hog because he's from Arkansas. Hog Hanner. Just a beautiful card. And then last but not least is the 54 Bowman John Martin Kovich. You can see how those bright yellow and blue colors really pop for him. This one's graded a 9. Pop 9, none higher. Beautiful card. That one really pops. Just an awesome piece there. All right. So I have 3 left to go, and we're going to end on 55 Bowman. That was pretty much the last year of Bowman football. And then went to, when 56 came, Topps football kind of really took over. And I've got the big Hall of Famer here, and that is Jim Ringo, NFL Hall of Famer. This is a pretty tough card to find. The pop on this is 51, and only 4 graded higher. And I believe those 4 are only 2 8.5s and 2 9s, so no 10s graded. This is a really tough year. This is a great example here. Take a look at the back. Kind of an interesting design with the play punt formation on the back. And you know, one of the concerns, you know, with as of late was increasing pop reports, like on the PSA pop report. You know, they have their backlog of however many millions of cards that they're still working through. I think they've already worked through, like, you know, 3 to 4 or maybe even more million cards in the backlog. But I'm telling you, I've been watching these vintage football high grade pop reports for years and years now, and including up to recently, and they don't change much, if at all. I mean, back when I first bought the Ringo was probably 6 years ago, and I want to say the pop was 50 back then. And so over a 6-year period, the pop's only grown by 1 card. So I don't know what kind of cards are at PSA to be graded, but from what I could tell, from what I've seen so far, it's certainly not high-grade vintage football. I can tell you that much. And man, vintage football has really, really dried up on eBay as well, and on the market in general. Like, you cannot find this stuff out there. It just doesn't exist. I haven't did an upgrade to this set in probably like a year and a half. Here's another Packer Team Hall of Fame rookie, Howard Ferguson, in the grade of a 9. This one's Pop 4, or excuse me, Pop 11, 0 graded higher, and just a beautiful example for Howie. Just a great card. And then last but not least, this is not a rookie card, but it's our good friend Bobby Dillon again, and this arguably is Bobby Dillon's most iconic card, the Hall of Famer himself, kind of galloping with that golden silhouette in the background. In my opinion, this is probably one of the better looking Packer cards, at least better looking non-rookie cards that exists. So this one's in the grade of a 7, decent looking card, but very well centered, presents very nicely for the grade. So, all right, everybody, thanks for watching. I will do another video, of course, and we're going to get into the more the mid-50s to late 50s tops, and there's definitely some bangers in that one, so you'll want to stick around for that one when that comes around. But definitely Bowman was a huge deal as far as early to mid-50s vintage goes, and I just wanted to take the time to kind of show you kind of the evolution of Bowman and kind of where it went and how it started out small, ended up with larger cards, and it really was some great products in the 1950s Bowman era. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.